How are you guys? It's Danny from Bike Nation. We are starting today something new, which is bike talks, but over the internet, because, of course, considering the house staying at home situation that we are all in. With me is Hassan, who is my partner and one of the founders of Bike Nation, and Jasjiv. Jasjiv is the owner of Motofever online store here in the UAE, and of course several other businesses back in India. Normally we used to meet in cafes, speak, talk, and discuss. We cannot do that anymore considering the situation, so we are going to do it online, and then we are going to broadcast that. Hassan, how are you?
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Jasjiv. Welcome online. So great to have you. It's been a while since we met in person, guys. But as Danny said, we're not going through this COVID-19 stuff. We heard a lot of it. It's over everywhere right now. So let's not touch base on that and focus on what we want to do. So basically, as Danny said, this is to keep the cycling spirit alive amongst us and amongst our groups and people around the region and around the world. So basically we'll be discussing trending stuff on the motorbike industry, what's happening, what's not happening, and just give our opinion on them, which are by no means are the most sophisticated opinions. We're just riders like anyone else, and we'll give our opinion, and then we would like to hear from all of you guys what you think about these topics. And please feel free to share your ideas, your thoughts, your input with us. We, by all means, we take all opinions. We're not very rigid with our opinions, so we'd love to hear from you. So today we will start with the things that we're doing right now. I mean, since we are not riding, we want to start talking about what are we doing right now.
We are cutting our hairs.
Exactly. So that's one thing. So I'll leave it to Jasjiv. Jasjiv, thank you very much for joining us as well today. Jasjiv is reporting from India right now. So tell us a little bit, how is it going there?
Hi guys, what's up? Yeah, I'm in India right now. India's in a complete lockdown. So sitting at home and trying to get whatever we can get done from a computer. Trying to read as many articles, trying to see some videos, trying to keep the biking spirit alive. When you can't ride a bike, you just sit behind a computer and act as we were riding a bike. So that's what we're doing.
All right.
Next time I'm joining with a helmet.
Right. That's a good idea.
What kind of books or videos you're watching?
Well, so obviously what we've been discussing is the new BMW launch. So seeing a couple of videos on that. I've been seeing videos on other motorcycle launches. I've been seeing a couple of videos on how to improve your riding style. Or going and seeing some movies which are related to motorcycling. Anything that circles you back to the lifestyle of motorcycles and try to keep you connected with that.
What is your reference with that? I mean, do you go to somewhere that is really reliable? Because I mean, internet is flooded with stuff. Everybody can go out right now and talk about some safety, riding skills, whatever. So anyone can do that right now. But do you have like some reliable resource?
Well, so you obviously want to go and when it comes to, I mean, you guys are a media company, so of course Bike Nation is a preferred destination to go and get all the industry information. Apart from that, there are a couple of other international news articles, news websites where we get to find out what's happening. Then of course, you have these institutions, schools that teach you how to ride. I mean, you've got the American Motorbike Safety Foundation, which gives out links where you can go and download books, or you can go and see videos. These are videos that are telling you how to improve your riding style, or you go and read about what are the new regulations when it comes to helmet manufacturing for next year, things like that. So there are enough links available, and we can share it later at the end of this podcast or this video, where people can go and actually read some stuff.
Well, actually, you know what? Yesterday, I think when I was talking to you, you sent me that link, and Hassan,
Yes.
I opened that. It's lovely. It's lovely. It has a variety of things to read from. It adds up to your information, and there are so many things that I can say I didn't have a clue about it. It's very, very, very educational. Very educational.
I mean, MSF is one of the oldest institutions in the US that help people sort of get into writing and to share writing, reading materials or videos and talking about safety and things like that. So, I mean, if you go into their website, you know, certain things will never change. So, I mean, even if a video is from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the basics of riding a motorcycle is like the basics of riding a cycle. So those are not going to change. So if you go through those publications and those videos or those books or those pamphlets, there's so many things that you and I as riders don't realize. It's a second habit to just sit on a bike and leave. But when you read certain things, you're like, oh yeah, that's true. That's what I do. But, you know, I didn't know why I did it. Now I know why I did it and how I need to carry on doing the right things
Exactly.
and leave behind the wrong things. So it's very important to sort of visit that.
So now we know what you guys are doing. We want to know what the guys who are watching us are doing to keep up with their riding skills, to keep in touch with their bikes, basically. So personally, I make sure that I wash the bikes every other day. So yeah, I mean, I cannot really go practice anything on the bikes or the motorbiking skills, but I can
get your bike in the garden,
on.
in the backyard garden.
Yeah, exactly. So just to keep them alive. So I don't lose the battery. I turn them on and then basically just wash them to make sure that they're spotless.
I checked on Bob today.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky. You guys are getting to do that. I mean, I check on my bike in Delhi, which is a few steps away, but my bike in Dubai, I just hope it starts when I get back and whenever that may be.
Brother,
I don't know if it's...
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Give me the keys. I love
the keys
to check on your bike.
But the keys are inside my house and the house keys are with me in India, so...
Send them.
Just tell me yes, I'll manage it.
Courier.
I'll run the bike. I'll manage
Courier
it.
in my house.
So guys, since we're talking about the BMW, sorry, I cut you off. Since we're talking about the BMW, let's talk a little bit about the new R18 that was launched recently. Let's see what you think of it. I'll share my opinion on it at the end, but would like to hear from you. What do you think of it?
Look, being the Harley guy, as I'm accused from you guys, W now, I don't know what they are doing. Despite the fact that the bike is lovely, despite the fact that when we knew about the bike, we were so eager to see it and to get our hands on it. But later on, when we started getting the feed and all that, we didn't get to have our hands on the bike yet to test it. But then I started thinking, you know, why would I buy a BMW R18 while I have a Harley Davidson and a second Harley Davidson, and it's the same style? And why would they go to that zone? And this is the big question. They have their own identity. They have their own riding trend. Why would they go there? This is my question. It's a question to be answered still. I cannot. This is not going against what BMW did, but the question is highly raised. Why did they go there? I don't know.
Well, I think the bike is very good looking. I think it obviously is a certain kind of person who will enjoy a motorcycle like that. It's not for everyone. It's a very retro looking bike. And we've been seeing some videos where they have some modifications with certain different handlebars. So, but by and large, it's a retro, cruiser, the good old days sort of look and feel to it. Now, I do agree with Danny from one point of view that it's a little mind-boggling. Why would BMW want to launch a motorcycle of that type now? And I guess time will give the right answer, considering the fact that the cruiser market overall in the world is sort of on the way down. Harley's anyway struggling, and Harley's looking at other motorcycles and other kind of designs and other kind of genres of bikes. May it be adventure, or may it be cafe racers, or may it be flat track, or what have you. And there have been non-Harley brands like Honda and Suzuki and Kawasaki and all the metric and Japanese bikes, and some other. I mean, I don't want to say Ducati because they didn't really make a cruiser, but a lot of other manufacturers have tried to enter the cruiser market with a very retro-looking style bike and not really been able to eat much into the market share of Harley Davidson. So why would BMW do something like this when they're already leading when it comes to adventure riding? They're doing pretty well when it comes to retro and the cafe racer look. To introduce a it's a bike which is a style of bike which most of the people are sort of moving out of, and even in the US, and then competing with Harley Davidson, it is a question mark. I mean, do they know something that we don't know? I don't know, but the reality is that it does make you wonder why would they do that. Apart from that, we all know BMW makes great bikes, so there's no doubt about the bike's riding
100%.
quality might be far superior than many other cruisers. Maybe the riding stance, maybe the ride comfort, things like that would be very different. I've seen the bike in skin when I was at ECMA. Obviously, I never sat on it, but when we get the test ride bike in Dubai, we'll probably all go for a spin and we'll see how it feels. But again, yes, the question is, why would BMW do what they did? I mean, do they really care about eating into a small portion of the Harley market, which is already shrinking? I mean,
They
I don't know.
can't. They
I don't
can't.
know.
It's a Harley market, especially. Look, let's speak about something which is very important. If you are talking about the market, you have to look at the terrain before the market. If BMW has their big chunk and share in Europe you do not have roads which allows you to cruise. Cruising is for the US. Cruising was made for the long,
Danny,
wide roads.
there are enough wide roads in Europe, all around Europe also. So I don't think that it's the terrain which is an issue. I think it's just the riding style and the culture of the people. The Americans love their cruisers, and the Britishers love their naked bikes. That's the way it was in the 60s and 70s.
That's fine.
So that's
let me ask the question. Let me ask the question in a different way. If we are talking that, and then yes, they have the long, wide roads in Europe, and they want to go and cruise. It doesn't add up because the motorcycle itself is not comfortable for riding or for cruising. So what do they do? Okay, look at the way they are placed. They have placed their foot pegs. It's a mid seater, and you cannot relax your legs. So it's still 100 miles bike.
I'll give you my take on the bike. Basically, definitely it's a very nice looking retro modern bike.
True.
With lots of technology and performance from BMW, which are very famous for. I think the idea was to create another lifestyle bike, a must-have lifestyle bike, like the old R line from the BMW, because this is a heritage, this is a history. They would like to keep it alive. Now,
so they are reviving. Sorry, Hassan, they are reviving the R5.
Yeah, back
exactly. In the 30s.
Exactly.
The bike was lovely,
although it doesn't look exactly the same, it has different purpose. This one is designed to be a cruiser, which I'm not sure to what extent it is comfortable as a cruiser because of the seating position, as Danny mentioned. The mid controls, you cannot basically make them forward control because of the engine location and the engine layout. But again, I think it's a must-have for some people because what it represents and the iconic engine that it has. Now, talking about the specific or the specs of the bike, it generates decent amount of power. It generates 91 horsepower, which are good for a cruiser. It's something that is really good. For 1,800 cc engine, they can generate more considering BMW. Yes, they can, but I don't think they want to. Definitely,
they increase the torque. They increase the drag. The drag power is high.
Exactly. So again, I mean, I had a somehow debate on the net the other day with some friends about the same bike, and what I said is that all we know about the bike right now is what's written on the paper and how it looks. We never tried it. So basically, I would hold my horses until I try it and see what it's capable of. Maybe it's comfortable after all, because
guys, you're right. And without getting into the technical specs of the engine or the power or the seating position, the reality is that you're right. This is being BMW. Let's assume that you sit on the bike, you go for a ride, you come back with a smile from ear to ear and say, "Whoa, man, this was phenomenal. I really enjoyed myself." Yeah. Having said that, to be fair, if you sit on any of the other touring motorcycles from BMW, or let's say you sit on the Honda Goldwing, or you sit on any of the other Hondas or the Yamahas, which have a more of a retro style, which can come into the cruiser category. They ride beautifully, but do they really eat into the Harley market? Not really. You know, I mean, the reality is, if you want a cruiser, you want a Harley. You know, you want a Harley because of a certain thing. Now, these
or
guys
an
have
Indian,
built,
just to be fair, a Harley or an Indian, because these are the
now, right now, these guys have not. I mean, I've got the bike open up in front of me on my iPad. The bike is not necessarily competing directly with Harley, so they're not gone with all the chrome and all the stuff. But it's very distinctly cruiser, and I agree with Hassan. They're trying to revive an old bike, which is an iconic bike, and they probably said that, you know, as we evolving products in the world, what more are you going to do? You have a good sports bike, you have a good cafe, you have a great adventure, you have some cruisers or tourers or baggers. We've got it all covered. So what do we do now? How do we get back the buzz going? So maybe that's a good way to bring back some energy into an old model by relaunching it and making some buzz. So to that, they have the merit. But I don't think this is going to eat into, this is not going to get them large revenues. This is not going to be their best selling bike. You know, I mean, this is not going to be the GS or the R90 did.
Yeah, on that point, I think, Jasjiv, they have right now a very challenging marketing mission that they need to work around. I'm sure that when they created this bike, they wanted revenue. They did not only create it for the looks of it. They wanted to get some margin of revenue. I mean, otherwise it will not be a very good business plan for them. But in order to compete with other rivals of this bike, and I can easily tell you the other rivals of this bike are the Softails of Harley Davidson. I mean, the first look I had at the bike, I said, what happened to the Softail? It looks like the Softail Slim, or looks like the D-Lock.
It's smaller than the Softail, by the way, huh?
How much will they price it? I mean, what we know,
it's 18,000 dirhams, $18,000.
Yeah, what we know,
expensive. The basic price of it is $18,200, which is expensive compared to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not cheap. It's expensive. So marketing also and marketing that price to the people is another challenge for them.
I think eventually their market will be people who would like to be very unique on the cruiser market. They don't want to ride something that everyone else is riding. They would go for this bike, for the style, for the looks of it, and for the high performance. Is it comfortable or not? I don't think so based on the looks, but we still need to see if it's comfortable or not. I'm sure BMW came around with a solution.
What the hell is this exhaust? Can somebody please tell me, what is this exhaust?
This is keeping room for Bates and Hines to create something.
Exactly. This is another challenge.
I know they are, because I think they were talking about it before the bike was launched, but I don't know all the details. But I understand that they're copying the earlier exhaust and they want to give a similar. But dude, this looks like a whale is sticking out of the ass. I mean, this is too big.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a huge. It's a
huge.
And
it's also because of the Euro 6 norms. It's also because of the Euro 6 norms. It's also because of the new emission norms, and you got to have a catalytic inverter in it. So all those things. So maybe they need to fit all that stuff in the exhaust, and they know that people are going to change it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Something that first thing you change on your bike is the pipes. So we shared our opinion on this bike. I think this is our personal opinion. Again, we say what we saw so far. So it's all based on the looks, on the numbers, on papers, etc., etc. But we still need to try the bike so we can give our more realistic opinion. Indian Motorcycle started something recently, which is basically their online shop to sell bikes. Jasjiv.
Yeah, in the US, they've started the Indian Motorcycle just launched in the US. That you can sit online and customize or spec up your bike, and they do deliver to your house. Something like what Tesla probably has been doing for years. And they've done it in this right now, keeping the current market scenario. But, you know, this leads us to think beyond what is happening right now, is because companies are going direct to consumers. You know, they're trying to cut down as many middlemen and flab and direct, reach out directly to the consumers, and the auto industry will eventually get there, and people are getting more and more used to buying online and comfortable selecting products on a computer. So if Indian has done this, is this something which might translate, not because Indian has done it, but just because it's showing an example that people will say, okay, we can also do it. And then maybe in 5 to 8 years, not in the next year or two, but in the next 5 to 8 years, are we going to see a lot more companies choosing to go online to sell, which allows them to hold lesser inventory at different parts of the country, have narrower number of dealerships, have, I don't know,
I have,
have a
I have,
showroom in every city.
yeah, I have two sides of opinion on this. The first opinion is that for a bike, I would love to try it before I buy it.
Yes.
I would like to get the feeling of it
The,
before I pay.
the bike calls you.
Yeah.
The bike calls you.
the
And
other
this is
part
something, yes, Hassan.
but the other part of me is right now, habits of people changed, and the online shopping, the e-commerce is basically taking a lot over. And let's face it, how many times we go to dealers and we want to buy a bike and they don't have a demo. So basically, you look at the bike, you just turn it on where it is, and basically you just buy the bike because you don't have a demo. So basically, some people are doing that.
But Hassan, I think that problem is more in our market.
Yeah.
I don't think people have that kind of problem in the US or Europe. And even in India, most of these dealerships have a demo bike.
Of every line, of every model.
For most of the lines. I mean, they might not have it for the really high-end Panagali in the Ducati showroom, which is like, like $50,000 or more in the local market. But yeah, otherwise they do have the demo bikes. But I know in the UAE we have these problems where they don't have demo bikes for quite a few of their models. They'll have it for the fast-moving ones, but not for everyone else.
Yeah.
But I do take your point. I mean, I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm just evaluating, is this going to be the Tesla model, which is, you have a showroom, people can go and see the showroom owned by the company, you go see the product, you ride the product, you test ride it, but you place an order online and it gets delivered to your house, So,
yeah.
I mean, and these are being done across the board in different industries. So, I mean, the auto industry could potentially look at it.
Right now, I know that.
If you guys.
Sorry, Danny, go ahead.
Yes, Hassan. Being bikers, our relationship with the bikes is very unique and very specific. It develops from the first sight. I'm a little bit more emotional into that. Yes, I am. I cannot buy a bike without seeing it and trying it and feeling it, and then I will decide on any bike that I would buy. I don't think that selling a bike online is a good idea. Accessories, yes, maybe. Anything, yes, maybe. But a full bike online, I can't buy this idea. The idea itself, I cannot buy it. So what would make me buy a bike? No way. Being me.
Right.
Hassan. Yeah, I mean, I would say the same. I don't have anything to add right now. You said what I wanted to say. It's a very personal relationship, and let's see. Maybe it will work. I mean, I know for example, right now, BMW AGMC here, they're selling now. They open their virtual store that you can buy a car, for example, online. However, we're talking about BMW car. I mean, how wrong can you go? You cannot go wrong. I mean,
look, there are people who are in parts of the world who do not have a motorcycle showroom in their country or in the city. Harley Davidson wasn't in India.
I can understand that.
Before.
This is a different issue. Yeah, maybe, yes.
So people did buy bikes keeping those in mind. So it all depends on what the situation is.
Exactly.
Again, this is something that Indian has done to come across the current market scenario.
Yes.
Maybe this is not a good idea for the two-wheeler industry. It just, it makes you wonder what will be the case.
Keep in mind, guys, that sometimes you buy a bike. I mean, one of the most, let's say, the heavy motivator for you to buy a bike is the community. I mean, some brands have their own community, and you would buy the bike for the community, for the love of the community. So, I think.
Danny.
What?
So basically, yeah, there are different elements that can affect your buying experience, your buying decisions, and yeah, that can be focused. Anyways, let's hear from the viewers right now, from our audience, to see if they would buy a bike online or no, and why.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it as a question amongst the other questions that we asked. I hope we did not make anyone feeling bored, and I hope the topics were interesting enough for people to start sharing with us their thoughts and their ideas. As Danny said, we promise that we keep this, let's say,
yes.
platform alive, and we keep engaging with the community. Hopefully, we'll take it forward after the situation, basically, in the rebound of the situation.
It will continue, hopefully, yes.
Basically, we'll be able to do more of these, maybe more on a actual meeting rather than virtual meetings, but we'll keep this ongoing, and we welcome any feedback, any comment, or anything. Of course, this will be placed on Bike Nation YouTube channel, so we would ask you kindly to subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel, as well as on our Instagram and our Facebook. We, of course, have our website, which is bikenationmag.com. We keep you updated with all of the news happening around the world with the motorbikes industry.
And if anybody wants us to dig deeper into any topic, they can even leave comments.
Yeah, they can, of course.
And we can give our opinion about those things.
Yeah. Excellent. Great. Thank you very much, guys.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.